Hey everyone, this is Haas from Off Kilter, and this is
Owen.
Owen. And we are out today checking on the houses of our friends that are snowbirds, making sure everything is still secure and tight and locked up and nobody has been dishonest. So we figured what better time than any, because they have these beautiful shade trees and I don't have to worry about finding a hat. I know I got a bunch in the house, I just have to find them. And I don't have to worry about the sun burning the crap out of my head again. So what I wanted to do today, I was watching the live stream from Deep South Homestead. No, you're not Tarzan. So I saw the live stream of Deep South Homestead the other day, and she mentioned our Homestead World video series collaboration kind of thing that she's looking to do. When I went and looked, it was back in 2018, but I figured she just announced it 2 days ago, or talked about it 2 days ago. It's not too late to get in on this. She basically is looking to get video submissions from people all over the world to show how homesteading has affected them. So I have a list of questions that we're gonna go over and see if Owen can offer up some. He was pretty excited this morning. He was going hunting. What were you hunting for?
A rabbit.
Rabbit? Do you want to show everybody your gun?
Yes. And watch me.
Oh, nope, you gotta come over here.
And watch me. And watch me watch the tree.
All right, so still working on form, which that will come if he ever gets a cricket. But what do we never point it at?
Anybody.
Anybody, right. What do we point it at?
Animals. Yeah, and actually animals.
Animals that we're going to eat, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our light is all loaded up.
It's all loaded up. It's a good thing that's not real, because it'd be out of your hands.
I shoot the sky.
Oh, okay. All right, let's put that down. You want to answer some questions?
Yep.
All right, question number 1. Where in the world are you? What country do you live in?
Florida.
No, that's the state. What country do you live in?
Avon Park, Florida.
No, America. United States, right?
Yes, America, the United States.
Nope, this is our Homestead World, but good try, buddy. Where approximately is your homestead? Okay, so we just told everybody we're in the United States. You can tell everybody what city we live in. You gotta say it loud because the camera's far away. What city do we live in?
Okay. Avon Park, Florida.
Avon Park, Florida. What is the size of your homestead? Our homestead is very small. I probably should have asked how big it is. I want to say we're probably 1/8 of an acre total. That's with the house and the shed on it. So it's not big, but we're still able to have a garden, and we'll get chickens here soon, which I'll talk about here in a minute. Are you rural or urban? I would call us an urban homestead. We are outside of city limits, but we are by no means country or remote. Where I grew up was a rural setting, and I thought I knew what rural was until we moved out to Montana. Once we moved to Montana, holy cow, you know, we were 15 miles one way, 20 miles the other for the nearest paved road, and then it was an hour drive to town for the nearest anything, any type of gas station, convenience store, grocery store. Please put that down, buddy. Anything. And so that was rural. That took some adjusting, get used to. And that was an hour drive when they didn't really have speed limits on that road. So I was making my governor do work, and it was still taking us about an hour to get to town. That was now rural. So pretty much any place, no matter how far out in the country we live, I'm gonna say it's close to an urban setting. What is the climate weather like? What's the weather outside today?
Sun.
That's pretty much how it's been. The sun is, I mean, you guys know, Florida, it's hot, it's humid, so humid you walk outside and, you know, I have a theory of why there's so many obese people in Florida, and it's because they walk outside and immediately start sweating because it's so humid. So they're like, oh, I've done my workout for the day, so they just don't go to the gym. So it's hot, it's humid, we get like 2 cool days a year. Every now and then it's nice. Right now in the shade, it's not too bad. In the sun, it's almost unbearable. So that's the climate. It's hot, it's humid, it's brutal.
Yeah. So I just like playing in the house all day because the sun hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still play outside a lot, don't we?
Yeah. Yes, but the moon doesn't burn my eyes, and if we do fireworks outside, that doesn't burn our eyes if you don't touch them and put them in your eyes.
Come here, Goop.
I'm just telling them.
I know.
Yes.
That you did a good job.
Yeah.
All right, what is the growing season? All year round, we have different crops that you can grow at different parts of the year, but we can grow all year round. Summer is hardest to grow. There are crops that grow really well. You know, peppers grow really well at this time. Certain types of beans grow really well in the summer. Moringa grows really well. It actually thrives on the heat, especially, you know, it's coming from the Middle East, so it's coming from a climate that grows really well in the summer. Do you have any animals? Right now, we only have the one dog, crazy, spastic, almost uncontrollable dog. She's super loving. I've never seen a dog as loving as this dog, but man, she is a spaz. Just the other day, she got hurt because, you know, I've mowed around her plenty of times, never any issue. 2 days ago, I was mowing and she decided she wanted to attack the mower. So she stuck her snout through the fence for the dog run just as the wheel was going by, and it caught her and it cut her gum a little bit. So she didn't learn either. She's spastic and stubborn because she went right back at it. So we had to go put her inside and had to get her gum to stop bleeding, and then she was fine. And we do plan on getting chickens in the fall, and we also would like to get quail at some point next year. And by next year, I mean later this year. I'm on school time, so next year is next school year, starting in the fall. I tend to not operate January to December. In my head, it's just August to May. So we do plan on getting quail at some point, but chickens are what we're gonna start out with. We were gonna go Cornish cross, but I'm really starting to think about those Red Rangers. I see those videos of my buddy over at Freedom, and I'm really thinking of those Red Rangers. Good dual purpose bird, and that's kind of what we're looking for. You know, we definitely want the meat, but we also want the eggs too. If we could get a few eggs, I think we'd be doing
Daddy,
good.
The tree's falling on me.
Oh no!
No, I'm squished.
Oh no. What fruit and vegetables do you grow? Do you want to tell everybody what kind of vegetables we grow in our garden? Stand back here.
Most of the time.
Hold on. Come back here.
Most of the times we grow peppers.
Peppers and what? What else?
Carrots and cucumbers.
Carrots and cucumbers and peas and beans
Yep.
and corn
Yep.
and dill and cilantro and basil and parsley.
Yeah, and
Cilantro and basil and parsley.
Yes, and radishes.
Radishes. We like radishes, don't we?
Yeah.
We try squash, but we haven't had any luck with squash yet.
Yeah, but Daddy, we have not eaten squid before.
We haven't eaten squid.
Yeah.
What about vegetables? Are there any other vegetables we grow in our garden?
What?
You don't grow rocks, Goober.
No, I mean broccoli.
Oh, broccoli. We do grow broccoli. Sometimes lettuce. Not a whole lot because we don't eat a whole lot of lettuce at our house.
Yep.
So right now we're not growing anything. Hannah's gonna start her seedlings for our self-wicking tubs that we'll be doing here soon. I just don't know what she's planning on growing. We got some seeds for ourselves from Mary's Heirloom Seeds the other day. So it'll be those. I just don't know how much of what she plans on growing for those. And honestly, because I haven't quite figured out how much we can grow in those yet. So once I figure out how much I can grow, then we'll be able to know exactly what we're gonna put in it. And honestly, she can start whatever, and I can always go get more molasses tubs for free. So she can start whatever she wants, and we can make this thing as big as we want. We do also grow, we have a moringa tree. I think it died over the winter, so I guess we aren't growing a moringa tree in as much as we have a moringa tree because normally it would be flourishing at this point, and it's not. And I don't know if it's, and maybe you guys have dealt with this before, I don't know if it's because it's a cutting and if the cutting was done improperly or cuttings just don't do as well. It was doing really good until we transplanted it, and then it's super slow growing. It would still grow, and it shot up. It got really high, but it would never bush out even when we topped it. Now, we did plant some moringa seeds, and we gave those away as gifts, and those are doing really well. So I don't know if it's just a cutting versus seed type scenario, but we do have a moringa tree. How do you grow your crops, style, and method? We do all of our crop raising in raised beds or containers, and that's because our land is just, it's so sandy. You really can't, unless you're putting all kinds of stuff and actually tilling in soil, you're not going to grow much in the sand here. We can't even grow real grass. We essentially grow shooting weeds, and that's about it. So we do raised beds all up to when we took them out. We're going to get back to raised beds once the chickens do their thing, and we're going to do the self-wicking tubs. We also, in addition to all that stuff, we do square foot gardening and companion planting. So we try to have plants near each other that benefit each other, or we specifically use plants that ward away insects and other animals like the marigold. We plant marigold as a border around our gardens, and that is to ward away certain insects. Deer tend to not like marigolds, so we plant. Oh, you're silly. And so we plant marigold to keep deer away. If they ever do become a serious issue, we'll plant some habanero, just a whole line of habaneros, or hotter. If I could get a hold of some grove peppers, that would be really good. Grove peppers, it seems like they're a dying variety. You can't find them anywhere. You definitely can't find them in the store. And used to, you could go and you could take a cutting or get some peppers from a grove and grow your own, but a lot of grove owners aren't putting grove peppers in their groves anymore. So I don't know. I hope to find some, and maybe I can get a hold of my buddy Jason. I know he has a bush or a plant. He may let me come and take some cuttings. Grove peppers are really good for that. Do you sell any produce, animals, or goods you create on your homestead? No, not at the moment. We don't grow enough to sell, and I mean, we don't have animals yet. Once we have animals, maybe, but it's pretty much all for us. Now, goods, Hannah is an artist, and you know, every now and then she'll be commissioned, and so she'll do something, or if she just comes up with something and decides, oh, I'm going to sell this, then she will. We do plan, and we've talked for a couple years. It just hasn't worked out, but now I have the tools that we can make it happen. When I was little, my parents ran a lawn ornament side business, and they would cut it out of plywood and did some really neat things. And I've always wanted to get that started back up again. And so now with Hannah working, one, we have the funds that we could get enough of the wood and make enough of the pieces ahead of time that we could go to these different shows and meetups and events that we can do that. And then, of course, with Hannah being an artist, that's really going to help out because she can do a lot to the pieces that we do. Oh, you're a good-looking sculpture. Do you grow solely for your own needs?
Anymore.
Oh, I'm so glad you're not a sculptor. Do you grow solely for your needs? Only because of scale. Right now, I mean, we give a lot of it away because what we've found, there's a lot that we're kind of really good at growing that we don't like eating, but we want to grow anyway. And so, part of our whole deal is we want to help ourselves and others. So we'll grow it and we'll just give it away. The goal is, though, to be able to raise a garden that will supply all of our needs and one other family. If we
Can you
can,
see a stick?
I can see the stick. If we can get to the point, and this is a few years down the road, and I understand that, where we have enough land for animals. If we can get to the point where we can supply food for our family and food for one other family every year, that's our goal. And we would like to take that family that we give the food to and teach them how to do this in hopes that they would do the same thing and kind of expand it on out. It'll actually, when we pick the family that we're gonna come alongside us and say, all right, you're gonna come and you're gonna, so many hours a month you're gonna come and you're gonna work here and you're gonna learn how to do this and build this and preserve this and raise this animal, and you're gonna be here for slaughtering day. We're gonna have them essentially sign a contract that says you're committing to this, and because you're committing to this, you're gonna get all this food, you're gonna get all this knowledge that we have accumulated over the years, and your job now is within 3 years to do this for another family. It's taking us a lot longer than 3 years, but we are kind of doing all this on our own and learning all on our own, and a lot of our learning is coming from YouTube and watching y'all and through our events and interaction that we get on Florida Urban Homesteading Nonprofit. They have been an invaluable resource. They have some awesome people there that are always willing to give advice and help out. I can throw up a picture and be like, what's wrong with this plant now? And they'll be like, oh, it's a nitrogen deficiency, or oh, too much water. So I'm slowly learning. Though, so we think if they are there with somebody who can show them hands-on, they'll be able to pick it up a lot quicker. And because we are going to be giving them their food for the next year, then, that would open up a lot of money for them to be able to start doing it themselves and get them a head start. And so that's why we have the stipulation of 3 years. We may change it, I don't know. But we do think it's important to pass this along to others, especially young couples. We were helped out a lot when we were young and had nothing, and so we want to pay it forward like it was paid forward to us. So that's a long answer to a very short question. No, we don't purposefully grow solely for ourselves. It's just kind of working out that way at the moment due to what we're able to produce. Do you have health issues that impact or guide your homesteading? Do they affect how you live or work your land? I don't anymore. I mean, I have, the knees and I have a herniated disc in my lower back and torn rotator cuff. I have stuff like that hurts, and I just suck it up and move on. And if I can't do something that day, then I can't do it the next day, and I can't do it that day, and then I do it the next day. And if it's still a little tender, well, I'm stubborn, and so I keep going. But I say not anymore because I used to have heart issues. I had PVCs, was just a random irregular heartbeat, and I got on the carnivore diet, and my blood pressure's gone down, my PVCs have gone away. I used to have some, at times, debilitating gastrointestinal issues that have gone away due to eating a carnivore diet, and it's been awesome. So no, I no longer have any health issues that affect how I homestead, and I really enjoy that. How long have you homesteaded? Officially since 2017. That's when we decided we were going to have as our established date, because that's when we put in our first garden. So on our logo, we have established 2017. I say homesteading is not just the act, but it's also the mindset. Homesteading is a self-sufficiency mindset. Homesteading is a look to the future. What can you do now to help the future? In a self-sufficiency thought pattern. And so I would say we've been at least mentally homesteading since probably 2009, and the seeds were planted in 2009. I would say that, where we started saying, okay, maybe this relying on others to provide food, i.e. grocery stores and slaughterhouses, maybe that's not what we want to necessarily be involved in. And we want to help others at the same time. So I would say 2009 was when we began mentally preparing to start doing homesteading. And even though we're still in the very early stages of it now, officially 2017, for me, I would say 2009 is when, before I even knew what homesteading was, I began in my head preparing to become a homesteader.
Daddy.
Yes, sir.
I'm growing a plant right there.
Oh, good. I hope it grows.
No, I just need water to make it bigger.
Where's your water? It's over there.
It's over there?
Do you like homesteading? I do. I like aspects of it. I think I would like it better if I was in a climate that I enjoyed. I miss seasons, and I miss snow, and I miss the cold, and I miss all of that stuff. So I think I would enjoy it more if I could work outside and not worry about, spontaneously combusting into flames due to the sun. But I do like homesteading. I like the community. Excuse me. There you go. I like the community that comes with homesteading, both on Florida Urban Homesteading Nonprofit. I've developed some really good friendships purely from that group, and so I love that community aspect. And now through the YouTube homesteading community, which I'm just really getting involved in. I've watched channels for a while, but I've never really interacted until I'd say the last month, and really heavy the last maybe 2 weeks. And that's really cool. I've come across some really cool channels, and I love watching the live chats and getting involved in those live chats, and I love the community aspect of homesteading. I love the growing your own stuff homesteading. I love the natural aspect of homesteading. I love all that when it comes to homesteading. I just think I would like it a little better if I was in a different place. What activity do you like the most when it comes to homesteading? I would say any activity that is physically strenuous or demanding. I don't like tedious work. I like big work that I can see results from immediately. I make jokes that I'm fat, strong, and stubbornly stupid, and so I'll try to pick up things that are way beyond my capacity, and somehow I usually get it done, or at least I try really, 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 really hard, and I enjoy doing that. So I like doing that kind of thing. I don't like doing jobs where I don't see any progress. I think that's why I like pressure washing so much, is because you see progress instantly. And that's why I hate prep work for building projects, because it just drives me insane that I'm doing all this stuff and I'm not seeing anything come together. I love the assembly process, but man, that prep work just drives me crazy. I would say I like any job on the homestead where I can see immediate progress, whether that's picking something up and moving it, or cleaning something and all of a sudden, oh look, I did that. And lastly, I added this question. I hope that's okay. What challenged you the most, and how do you overcome it? I think the common answer would be money, and there's various ways people overcome it. So I'm not gonna stick to that one. I think everybody deals with that challenge. Though if you have some tip on how to make it a little easier, please share. We try to repurpose a lot We've recently started investing, and so we're working on that to help with money down the road. But right now, we do a lot of repurposing to help with money. We try to come up with different ways to use different items that will benefit us financially, and not necessarily financially, but just in general. One of the biggest challenges for us on our homestead is space is a big one. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I would say the biggest challenge for us, aside from money and timing, not necessarily time, but timing, is the elements. And I know that sounds kind of hokey, and everybody deals with elements, and that's part of gardening and farming and all this stuff. We don't have a whole lot of space, shade. That's why, we're over here at the neighbors enjoying their shade trees. So one thing we're doing to kind of counteract that is the shade cloth that I talked about in an earlier video that we're taking from the old trampoline netting, and we're gonna make a shade cloth. And I first saw that when we were up visiting my wife's family in Canada, and I saw the ginseng, and I'm like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'll do that back home. And I just never really got around to it until I had that idea with the trampoline screen. So that's how we're overcoming our biggest challenge at the moment for being able to complete what we are looking to do at this time. So just coming up with creative ways, creative solutions. I look forward to watching your videos. I look forward to seeing your response. I'll put the questions down in the bottom, and I look forward to interacting with you on these, maybe getting some ideas from you. I know I've gotten plenty. I hope you get some ideas from me, and I hope that we can become self-sufficient through the help and interaction of each other. So I leave you with our usual motto: be self-sufficient, help everyone you can, inconvenience no one. And don't forget our giveaway. I'll throw a link in the bottom. Head over there and check that out. Y'all have a good day. Do you want to come say bye?
Bye. I'll see you later when we start another video here again. So now we're going bye. Bye.